Hello Centrals. This week I'm on holiday officially. Go figure, I actually decided to do the two biggest and most important videos I wanted to do this year right now. And that is, what do women want in sexuality and what do men want in sexuality? Now, I'm not going to go into too theoretical things here. I'll try to keep them as concrete and as level grounded, or as grounded level as I can. I narrowed it down to five things that I think are very important, and I'll just get right to it. Number one is nurturing and protection. As I said, I'm going to be as concrete and as physical as I probably can, and with this advice and with this aspect or thing, it's actually something that we all know. Women want safety. Women want nurturing. Now, why is that? First of all, a sexual act happens inside a woman's body. Now, we all know that, obviously, but did we ever think that if she's not safe, doesn't feel safe or nurtured or protected, well, how is that act going to be like? And is she going to allow just anyone in any condition to enter her own body? So this one is actually very important, and a lot of people tend to overlook this. You have to make her feel safe. Now, physically calm, physically nurtured, protected. In fact, she needs to open up to you physically, first of all. And in order to do this and have this act of enjoying, actually, you need to give her that comfort, that nurturing, that protection physically. How do you do that? Well, you have to make her feel through your movement, through everything that happens in the interaction, that you don't have an agenda. And that is the toughest thing ever, because you obviously have an agenda. You want to have sex with her. Well, slowing things down, taking things at her own pace, especially in arousal and in foreplay, is very, very important. Now, you know that she feels nurtured and protected when she literally asks you, not necessarily in words, just through her body moving, she asks you to enter. That is an art. And that is not something that every man can do. And that, in fact, is not something that every woman can speak out loud or express or even know to follow whenever she's interacting with you, at least in the beginning, in the inception, so in the foreplay. So this is number one. Number two is actually cherishing. Now, this goes in all moments, not just necessarily at the beginning, so foreplay, arousal. This goes in any moment of your intimate sex act. And this, in fact, is what every woman wants to know, that the man that is about to enter her body, or is inside of her body, is actually really enjoying her presence, her company, her body, her emotions, her warmth, her everything that she is. So this isn't just an act to unload sexual tension, to ejaculate, to have orgasm and get over with. No, he's literally enjoying and feeling enlivened by the presence of her. So she feels cherished. And you do this by the way you touch, the way you kiss, the way you look at her, the way you pay attention to everything that she feels or that she expresses in those moments. And obviously you give her whatever she needs at any time. So cherishing is actually all throughout, from the beginning to end. Number three, I actually chose ravishing. Now, I want to make a distinction here. There is a difference between being ravished and being raped. Totally big difference, and we need to understand this one. Being ravished by a man means first and foremost that he is able to dominate, so therefore he has enough self-esteem and esteem in his sexuality, in his manhood, in his body, in his knowledge, in his skill of lovemaking, that he can take charge and he can be present, and that he has a vision and strategy, so somewhat strategy you can call it, into that act, that she doesn't need to stay alerted and stressed out and feel the need to take charge because he's not giving her what she needs. So that's the first ingredient: trusting your own masculinity and your own sexuality and your own ability to give pleasure, to feel into a woman's needs, physical, emotional, psychological. Ravishing is, first of all, an act of internal psychological strength. Secondly, on a physical level, this can mean being pinned down, either just with your hands and with your feet, or tied down and just taken without even asking or waiting for approval. But this goes on the level that you've ensured nurturing and protection, that you've ensured that she knows she's cherished, and that she has also given you exclusive permission to ravish her. This is very important. This, in fact, makes this act ensuring that she is nurtured and protected, that she's cherished, and that she gives consent. This is what distinguishes ravishing from raping. These are a lot of ingredients here that you need to constantly pay attention to. This isn't a brutal act. Ravishing is, in fact, the ability to charge in, take control over her body, her emotion, her psyche, but in such a way that she enjoys it. And some women love when their man takes charge to such a level. And they love to actually lavish, so take their time in this act of being ravished. So that means being present and being able to keep this tension for a much longer period of time, and keep the arousal, the physical arousal, or also for a much longer period of time. It can seem contradictory to the first two steps, or the first two elements, and yet I would say that ravishing a woman is an art, and not every man can handle this one. And obviously not every woman can be ravished. Some women don't like this. Some women are afraid. Some women have trauma with abuse or with being physically brutalized somehow. So this isn't necessarily an easy job. Although the majority of us want to be ravished by our men or by our partner. Number 4 on my list is actually transformative and a deep connection in sexuality. Now, transformative sex is actually, first of all, done instinctively when we are in love, and we have a heart-to-heart connection, and we actually open up into this loving and accepting and just slow-paced space where we can process our emotions. Now, transformative actually means that we bring whatever emotion comes out and we purge it, we transform it, we overcome it, and we bring out higher emotions, more beautiful emotions, states of expanded consciousness sometimes, because this is what transformative sex can do to us. And this, in fact, is, as with ravishing, transformative sex is also an art, and what it needs is, first of all, again, confidence in your manhood, in your sexuality, in your ability to see and to perceive into another person, into her psyche, her emotions, her physical manifestations, and what they mean. This isn't something that you get to do, ravishing or transformative sex, with just about anyone. This is actually with a stable partner, with somebody with whom you've already been acquainted to. You know their perks, you know their needs, you know what sounds they make, the way they breathe in certain moments. you know them. So you know them and you can take sexuality to a higher place, and transformative and deep connection sex is actually that. It's the higher manifestation of your sexuality, and most women crave for that. Unfortunately, this scares, or this makes men sort of back away a lot of times because they confuse this with drama. It isn't drama. The purpose here is to, as I said, transform, purge, overcome emotions. And that in itself takes mastery from both partners. First of all, as a man, because we're talking about what men should or ought to take into consideration to satisfy a woman. For men, this is the ability to stay present and to stay rock hard and rock solid no matter what emotions she brings out, no matter what physical manifestations she has. She needs a safe container, or a loving container, and a slow-paced container where she can bring all of these emotions and feel them out, live them out, and see them in this way processed. That is an act of witnessing also, but witnessing in the most vulnerable moment. So you need to be rock solid confident in yourself, and you would also need to be rock solid from other perspectives, because this kind of encounter takes a longer time. As a woman, obviously you need to be conscious that whenever this connection is brought about, yes, you're most likely the one who will bring out a lot of emotion, consciously or unconsciously, intentionally or unintentionally, and the confidence that they can be processed, and the confidence to let them manifest without scaring or getting scared or unloading too much fear on your partner. That also requires, again, a lot of internal mastery, so a lot of confidence in your womanhood, in your ability to transform whatever emotions come up in yourself, in your partner as well, because guess what? Your man is also a human being, and transformative sex goes both ways, in fact. And obviously, both partners would have to be on the same level of consciousness, because you can't just have this kind of encounter with somebody who's not on your page, who's not on the same level, who doesn't have some physical skill to perform continence. In essence, taking sex to this stage and keeping an intimate moment for such longer period of times requires a certain level of mastery and a certain level of consciousness to understand what is going on and still be able to hold that physical arousal, physical attraction, and just the dynamics between the two of you. And number 5, because we're number 5, well, women want fun, light, just joyful, playful, casual sex. Obviously, sometimes we want things just lightly and casually. Believe it or not, we're not all full of emotion and deep, heavy stuff. So sometimes we just want to have fun. Girls just want to have fun, like the song goes. There's no big philosophy here. It's just joyful attitude all through, from beginning to end, lightheartedness, and just fun and pleasure all round. And yes, we ought to enjoy this. Obviously, you still need to make sure that she feels safe, nurtured, and secure, because otherwise she's not gonna relax enough to really live out that casual, lighthearted attitude. You may obviously wonder, now what kind of a man can actually satisfy these things? I mean, let's recap here a bit. She wants, first of all, nurturing and protection. Secondly, she wants to feel cherished. Third, she wants to be ravished. Fourth, she wants to be transformed, and she wants a deep connection, intimacy. And then she wants lightheartedness and casual and joyful and fun sex. I mean, this may seem a lot, And this may seem like one man can't satisfy all of those things. Well, let me tell you just this. First of all, if you're watching this all through here, you're probably one of the men who can do this, who can handle this, and who can provide this for their women. Simply because if somebody's not so able and so preoccupied with this, wouldn't search for this kind of videos. And mind you, if you're already subscribed to my channel, you've seen that I don't do popular and commercial-like videos. There are a lot of those on YouTube. My mission isn't to go there. What I want to go is for the real juice, for the real essence of it. And if you're a man who can withstand this, then yes, you're probably a man who can offer this to his woman. Secondly, if you're a man who has heard this from his woman, then let me tell you this. The fact that she opened up to you is actually a sign of her believing in you, a sign of her knowing or feeling that you can provide these things. And that's actually what you need. It's a key ingredient. In order for you to provide with whatever else she may need, from what I said here, she actually has to believe that you can offer those. It's always like that. In every relationship, in every kind of interaction, the other person has to have the certainty or the confidence or the faith or the trust that you can provide whatever's necessary. Otherwise, that's the foundation, which if you don't have, you're probably not going to be able to do the job well. Before I go, one more thing. You can obviously show this to your partner and you can ask her what are her thoughts on this. If you want to do this, it can be a conversation starter, but just bear in mind that this is an opportunity for you, both of you, to expand. And if these aren't the things that she wants and she wants other things, okay, fine, that you started the conversation. Just make sure when you watch this or when you have this conversation with your partner or with your lover, take this as an opportunity for growth, as an opportunity for developing, for deepening your relationship. Do not, I stress out, do not take this as another moment for you to quarrel, bicker, to debate or argue or anything of the sort. So never take this as a critique done onto you, or never take this as a sign of your inability to provide with whatever she needs. In fact, I actually want to give you a reassuring. If you're watching this video, chances are you've already had some of your experiences and you've done a lot of crazy things, wild things out there, or even deeper things than what I just said here. And you obviously have the skills and the ability and the mastery in your own intimacy to actually provide a woman with a complex requirements or list of requirements or list of desires, of needs or wishes or whatever else you want to call them. And that's actually, the majority of us can do that. We just never talk about it. And women perhaps never open up more to their partners, somewhat for the fear that they may be misunderstood, they may be interpreted as them criticizing their partner, or them nagging their partner, or them complaining to their partner that they're not good enough, which is totally not the case. So I hope this is taken as a tool, because this is the intention here, a tool to help you be a man much closer to her physical and actual and concrete needs in those moments, and you being a man who's confident enough that he can juggle all of these things, because they're very different, just 5 things, and they're world apart, some of them. But you can obviously juggle them, and you can obviously go from one to the other if you allow yourself, if you're present in that moment, and you have faith in your spontaneity and in your ability to observe and to be present and to withstand whatever your partner actually requires from you in order to unwind, let go, and embody a freer sexual persona than the one you're used to. Because that's all there is to it. Just presence and awareness that you can be much more complex. So this is it. And until next week, I hope that you let me know what you think of this video, if it helps you. And if you have other things that you may include in this list, let me know in a comment below. And until next week, enjoy yourselves and have a beautiful and fulfilling and expansive sexual life.